everyone.
Thank you for tuning in at Speak for Yourself Radio.
Welcome.
We're here.
Episode
Another
2,
week.
Numero dos. Oh my gosh.
I think part of me really thought they were going to come on and be like, ooh, this is what you were doing? Bye. And not give us an episode 2. So here we are.
Someone figured out our master plan. Our master plan to put poetry on air. Whose idea was that?
I don't know.
Who let us do this?
I'm Kaylin.
I'm Sammy.
And this is Speak for Yourself Poets.
Welcome.
Radio. Speak for Yourself Poets is the club we're associated with.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice segue. While I am trying desperately to bring up our header, it's not happening.
You know, that's okay.
We can impersonate it.
We can. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Poetry is a less quantifiable something profound.
Poetry.
I think we should re-record our header and it should sound
right there,
just
guys.
like that.
That's the show header right there.
It's a lot better, honestly.
If you want to give it a 10 out of 10, that's the only score you can give it. So thanks.
No other option.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your A+ star. That's it.
What?
In my head.
Okay, well, we'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, that's okay.
One day.
We'll get there. You'll
We'll
get a
have
header
for you eventually.
Yeah.
We sure do have one. If you were here last week, thanks for coming back. You've heard our header last week.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to start you off with quite a selection.
I'm so excited. So this week's theme, in case you guys are wondering, it's surrounded on being young, you know, the concepts of childhood. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy our nice little playlist of childhood memes.
This is just a fun way to start us off.
Yeah.
Don't come for me. This was Sammy's suggestion.
Put me under the bus.
Parents are the same no matter time, no place. They don't understand that us kids are going to make some mistakes. So to you other kids all across the land, there's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand. I remember one year my mom took me school shopping. It was me, my brother, my mom, my pop, and my little sister all hopped in the car. We headed downtown to the Gallery Mall. My mom started bugging with the clothes she chose. I didn't say nothing at first, I just turned to my nose. She said, "What's wrong? This shirt costs $20. I said, "Mom, the shirt is plaid with a butterfly collar." The next half hour was the same old thing. My mother buying me clothes from 1963, and then she lost her mind and did the ultimate. I asked her for Adidas and she bought me Zips. I said, "Mom, what are you doing? You ruined my rep." She said, "You're only 16. You don't have a rep yet." I said, "Mom, let's put these clothes back, please." She said, "No. You go to school to learn, not for a fashion show." I said, "This isn't China. Now, come on, Mom. I'm not Bowser. Mom, please put back the bell-bottom Brady Bunch trousers. But if you don't want to, I can live with that. But you gotta put back the double-knit reversible slacks." She wasn't with it. Everything stayed the same. Inevitably, the first day of school came. I thought I could get over. I tried to play sick, but my mom said, no way, forget it. There was nothing I could do. I tried to relax. I got dressed up in those ancient artifacts. And when I walked into school, it was just as I thought. The kids were cracking up, laughing at the clothes Mom bought. And those who weren't laughing still had a ball, because they were pointing and whispering as I walked down the hall. I got home and told my mom how my day went. She said, "If they were laughing, you don't need them, because they're not good friends." For the next 6 hours, I tried to explain to my mom that I was going to have to go through this about 200 more times. So to you other kids all across the land, there's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand. Okay, here's the situation. My parents went away on a week's vacation and they left the keys to the brand new Porsche. They mine? Well, of course not. I'll just take it for a little spin and maybe show it off to a couple of friends. I'll just cruise it around the neighborhood. Well, maybe I should. Yeah, of course. course I should. Pay attention, here's the thick of the plot. I pulled up to the corner at the end of my block, and that's when I saw this beautiful girly girl walking. I picked up my car phone to perpetrate like I was talking. You should have seen this girl's bodily dimensions. I honked my horn just to get her attention. She said, was that for me? I said, yeah. She said, why? I said, come on and take a ride with a hell of a guy. She said, how do I know you're not sick?
Oh no, it's over too soon. We all wanted more.
Dang.
I
know you guys were all just, like, really listening into that song.
I mean, it's a pretty interesting narrative. It gets a little dicey.
I think it really has a story to say behind it. If you're really listening, I think it really develops over the course of a 2-minute
Like, it does have a story, but part of that story is him accidentally making out with a 12-year-old. I don't know if you've listened to the song.
Oh, no.
That's why in our Google Doc it says, fade out before 4 minutes, because that's where it takes a bit of a turn.
Well, avoid problematic faves. That's what I say.
Yeah, we won't. We don't put that on our radio show.
Absolutely not.
Feel free to listen on your own, I get. Maybe don't feel free.
I guess whatever you're comfortable with.
It's fine. So, we are here with Speak for Yourself
Radio.
We are. With bringing you poetry of other people and ourselves. And listeners, if they want to send in a prompt poem, stay tuned. But real quick, we should all introduce ourselves. We already know who we are. I'm Kaylin.
I'm Sammy.
DJ Tanner.
Oprah Spinfree.
And then we have some interns.
And a friend.
I'm C.
Jason.
And I'm Matt.
Hey, who's that? He hasn't been here before.
Matt?
Surprise!
Wow. Could he be a member of our super cool group Speak for Yourself Poets?
Gasp.
Man, I wonder where you could also see Matt. Maybe on Mondays from 7 to roughly 9 in the basement of the SOC building at 96 Covington Mall, SOC B59, perhaps.
Mayhaps.
Good one.
That sounds really good. And I'm really, really, really glad that we can all be here today because not only is Matt a part of that wonderful club, but also C and Jason and Kaylin and I was about to say yourself, and you. Well, actually, yes.
Hey, you. Soon.
You can also be a part of this. So we're all here.
Just show up.
As you can tell, this is the Cool Kids Club over here. And if you guys want to be cool, you should join Speak for Yourself.
Any other club.
Maybe
or just hang out with the cooler people in our club. We have them. They're cooler.
Us.
Oh yeah, right, us.
Hello.
You're gonna really discourage them. They're gonna think we're the coolest people at Speak for Yourself, and that's just not the truth.
Oh, we're so cool. What do you mean?
Well, Matt is here. I don't know if he's aware, because he needs to write a prompt poem. Because we never write our prompt poems, and then it's just our interns, and that's really a burden to leave on them. So Matt's here.
Right. He's doing it for us. We're putting all the pressure on him this week.
Kaylin tricked me into coming here because she bought me a Gatorade.
This is true. I bought him a Gatorade, and I was like, now you have to stay for the whole show.
And is Gatorade sponsored by a bigger company?
I don't know. Me? I sponsor Gatorade.
That's it. Kaylin.
My Diet Coke sponsorship really went to my head.
So now we've got Kaylin here sponsoring Gatorade.
Yep. So, on that note, our prompt today is, I came up with a prompt and I don't think I shared it with anyone.
Please,
but
I'm excited.
It's a prompt. It's in the doc. Our prompt this week is, can I get a drum roll, Sammy? It is, what does being young smell like? Which is weirdly specific, but I had the thought, and I was like, I don't know.
Do you think you know what being young
Absolutely
smells
not.
Like? Well, you know what would be a really good way to articulate how to say what it actually does smell like?
I'm afraid to say what, how.
Well, you can say it in a poem.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where I thought you were going, but it was a lot scarier.
Well, I'm so sorry that you were thinking that, but I was much more docile than what you were assuming. But yeah, so that sounds like a pretty good prompt, and you guys, you all listening at home, can be just ruminating, just thinking, reflecting. What do you think being young smells like?
Yeah, and again, we might have some slightly altered minds, bringing us some remotely from Model Cafe. Hit a Model Cafe for a good night.
Right. That's a cafe, and it is where there are non-alcoholic drinks.
I'm sure they have them.
Like coffee and water.
Maybe. that note,
Anyways.
well, kind of on that note.
Yeah, actually.
Our theme this week is being young. And I know, me personally, when I was going through some of these poems, I definitely, I was generous on what that topic means. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like, here's my thinking. As you listen to these poems and you're like, what were you guys thinking? Why'd you pick that? I feel like being young is very different for very different people, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so, definitely I think we tried to get, like, a nice, broad view of what being young is.
Yeah, and being young means something different to every individual. You know, being young to one person could be like your grandmother's cookies, while being young to another person could be, I don't know, not living under crippling amounts of debt. So it could be whichever.
The days.
It could be whichever.
Or
so,
it could be living
both.
under crippling amounts of death. Debt.
Death.
Death, too.
Crippling amounts of death.
On that note, we do have some, there is some content warnings coming up in this 2-hour block, so be sure to pay attention. If you hear this annoying voice come on and go, hello everyone, hope you're still with us. It's going to be followed by a content warning, and take care of yourselves.
Yeah, so that sounds like a great time. Thank you for letting us know, Caitlin.
Hey, anytime.
Thanks.
I think that about wraps up this rambling intro.
Indeed.
Oh, no it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You know what does wrap up a rambling intro?
A header.
Yep, that's right, only a header. Is it? Mm-mm. I love dead air. Silence is actually my favorite.
God, it's so my favorite thing to do. One day.
One day you guys will get a header.
Literally one day. But on that note, you are listening to Speak for Yourself Radio at WTBU, the beat of Boston University. You could be listening to us at 89.3 FM, 640 AM, BU Cable Channel 6. You could be on our website at wtburadio.org/listen or on our handy-dandy WTBU Radio app. And you can call in. Yes, we solved the mystery. We have a phone. You can call in at 617-353-6400.
I don't know where the phone came from.
I really thought the header was about to play.
Oh, dang.
I just gave, like, a really mean one finger up shush. And it was followed by nothing. And, like, a one finger shush is really a statement to make. It's really the beginning of something.
And it just really didn't go anywhere. That's okay.
You know what I can play?
What?
Definitely a poem.
Great. I think that's what we've all been waiting for.
This one I'm really excited for.
Ready to get rid of our voices?
Yeah.
Starting in very soon?
Starting after I say how much I love Harry Baker and that I started this show just to play Harry Baker poems.
That's fair.
We have some of my favorite poets coming up this
there's a lot of people.
There's some, just a sneak preview, we got some Olivia Gatwood, we got some Melissa Lozada Oliva, Harry Baker. No Jonathan Mendoza. How'd that happen?
What?
We'll find one.
Jonathan Mendoza is your husband. Where is he?
I don't know. Why isn't he in the studio, Jonathan?
We're talking to you, Jonathan Mendoza.
You know he listens. Anyway.
As if we're important enough.
This is a Harry Baker poem called Western Super Nightmare, and I hope you guys like it.
Picture the scene. A group of giggling teens. Two on the left and the right, you're in the middle with me, riddled with glee. So excited, you're worried that the piddle will be trickling free, warming up that back bit of your knee, but you hold out. Now very aware that it is cold out. And wearing just swimming trunks, flip-flops, and a t-shirt feels bold now. It looked a lot warmer out the window. But when you're inside, it's difficult to know how the wind blows. And right now, there's mini hurricanes around my shins, so this was the plan. Go in, arms out, maybe get a bit of a tan, and then race across the glistening sand, flip-flops in hand, and swim about. Bring a towel, be in and out by sunset. Then, while it's hot, start drying off, let everything get unwet and re-warm. But that ain't how it goes, and so you wish you could have been pre-warned that it's the 25th of February. And just because it's the first day the sun has properly come out in ages, I don't change the fact that it's technically winter. And it's a lot colder than you thought. And even with that towel around your shoulders for support and that spare pair of trousers that are now over your shorts, you just arrived and you were already wearing all the clothes you brought and you were still cold. You realize sometimes we do things that are stupid just so we don't feel old. I'm 20 in a couple of weeks. And to remedy this, everybody's come to the beach. There's Vanessa, Rebecca, Mandala, McGregor, Susie Sue James, and us. And whatever the weather, we're in it together, so why bother making a fuss? Western Supermare, a.k.a. Western Super Mud. My foot hits the ground with a less than super thud, more of a squelch, if I'm honest. But I honestly don't care a bit. I'm knee-deep in feces and very much aware of it, but I'm the type of guy that likes to see the sights. So as we're B-side, the C-side, me and Mandy D-side, we won't leave till we've tried the ocean. Stop motion. Snapshot of us, mouths open, desperately trying not to swallow mud. Not quite full hippopotamus, but there are bits of sludge going in and around a lot of us. No concept of worrying about tomorrow, just wallowing in what's left of today, because today is potentially adventure-y. And 100% of me fundamentally believes the fun is meant to be done inventively and whenever and wherever possible. Now, that doesn't mean drunken teens vomiting up and screaming, YOLO! That's as a kid thinking, how laxative exactly is a pack of polos? And actually having the audacity to find out quite a lot. It's carefully considering the current consequences and coming to the conclusion of, why not? Maybe that's why I almost joined pole dancing society at uni, or decided to try rapping for my German speaking presentation, or ended up stripping for my German speaking presentation, or was one mark off a first for my German speaking presentation, or emerging from the sea, freezing cold and nearly naked, a little part of me cannot help but feeling amazing, even if by this point, one of my flip-flops has slipped off. Tracky bottoms got so sodden they had to be ripped off. T-shirt and towel were teasing the tide and ended up a bit got, so now I'm just in muddy trunks and fiending for a chip shop. But the guardian of the pier is there to make sure I stay put. He says, you cannot come in here or you might get splinters in your foot. Now, in a West Country accent, you can say anything. It's very difficult to sound menacing. But I realize at this point, this place ain't quite what I thought. There is something inherently creepy about a seaside resort at nighttime in the middle of winter. So I think it might be time to go home. But the next train isn't for 3 hours. And by that point, I would definitely be dead. So instead, I valiantly vowed to continue with my quest. Some people want to get rich, some want to get famous. I just want to get dressed. And after getting kicked out of New Look, which was probably for the best, I'd like to stress, other than death, I only had one option left, and usually my innate fashion sense, powerful street cred, or inspirational moral fiber might prevent what happened next, but these are running low and everywhere is closed, so let's all go to Tesco where Harry buys his best clothes, la 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 la. Na, 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 na. They sell dressing gowns and flip-flops I'm desperately in need of. La la na na. Every little helps. I love the beach. And I love swimming in the sea. I love having adventures because I love feeling free. I love people who are up for stuff and spontaneity. The truth is I love life. And I love people who love life like me. Sometimes it's for the glory. Sometimes it's for the story. Mostly it's because I believe we weren't made to be ordinary. Because at the end of the day, what's done is done. And nothing beats fun because fun is fun and stuff is approximately 40% more fun in a dressing gown. Especially if you're naked underneath. Imagine the fun that you're having and then adding the feeling of fleece. Combine that with a cool breeze and the fact I love feeling free. It is having the audacity to find out quite a lot. It is carefully considering the current consequences and coming to the conclusion of, why not? Thank you.
If you could do anything, if you could have your questions answered, if you could sleep at night, if you could talk to him or her, if you could get them to understand, if you could make another dollar, if you could run faster, if you could reach the water's surface, if if your fingers could reach up and break the surface of the tar. If you could, for a moment, just a moment, feel the breeze caressing, dancing around your fingers, the warm sunlight kissing your skin. You feel like in that moment you could breathe through your fingertips, see through them even, hear birds chirping, see the trees sway, hear the roar as they whisper their secrets in the wind. But what if you didn't give up? What if you clawed your way out? What if you dug at that black muck with your teeth and your nails and every ounce of your being until you grabbed the deep roots of a tree and pulled yourself out of the gutter, out of the streets, out of the clutches of death itself, and emerge on the banks, alive as you have ever been, the air a little fresher, the sky not so far away.
The first time I shot a basketball, I aimed it towards the sky like a wish. To me, the rim was some faraway place where the horizon meets heaven and boys groomed themselves into men. At 7 years old, I believed that Barbie secretly married a Ninja Turtle. Mom thought I wasted too much time fantasizing outside the lines. But you, Dad, you taught me that lines are only useful when you bend them. So each day, I'd be the only girl on the playground, convincing my arm it was a fountain, my wrist it was a gymnast doing backflips and backflips, catapulting the sun in my palm when the park lights turned off. We worked on my handle. You were a doorknob with a sign that read, "Keep your head up." So I zigzagged between the stars like they were cones, and together we made the playground a planetarium. You said that love was feeling the leather skin of the ball on your fingertips when the winter was meanest. 11 years later, when I fell in love with a woman whose grip felt like Spalding, I knew that there were more lines I'd have to break. Did you know that then? The arguing at home in the court, our treehouse, we just passed our pain and had conversations behind our backs. I wanted my hands to look just like yours, all soot and chimney from the dirt they earned at pickup games, so I earned my own. In the rumble of Harlem basketball tournaments where block shots at the block on fuego, 135th Atlantic so waters for un peso, and these lines, mourned ankles caught at the wrong place, the wrong time. At 13, I dreamed of hanging from the rim like a chandelier. I told the whole block I'd be the first woman to dunk in the NBA. Most of them laughed, but you looked at me with the smirk that is the Morse code of underdogs and said, "See these lines? They're like copper. Most people are like steel. They don't bend as easily, and still, you're far too young to worry about any of this." Their parents probably never showed them that a rainbow is just a big jump rope you get to play with when you get older. And growing older doesn't mean anything if you never grew up. And growing up doesn't mean anything if you never believed that ridiculous things were possible. And you got plenty of time for all of that. See, dreams are bus passes with no expiration date. So enjoy the ride till your knees sound like creaky gym floors and your back is a sailboat that's hugged the world at least 2 times. In basketball, passing is a gift you give before you go, but you were a gift I never said thank you for being the silent cheerleader at every one of my games when my gender felt more like a disability and all I was some girl on their team. So take every shot I made as a thank you card, signed by the branches in my hands that will never forget the bark they came from, sealed by the sweet spot in my spirit that knows only this. I may never be able to dunk, but there's a rim where the horizon meets heaven that will always make me wonder, what if?
If I got paid for all of my emotional labor, I'd have like a lot of money. I would get 100 different wigs made out of exotic horsehair to match all of my moods. I'd replace all my teeth with tiny iPhones. I'd pay all of the tall people and people making out at shows to stand in the back because I'm bitter. I'd wear lipstick made out of gold dust. I'd get a full body tattoo of my body and put it on my own body. I'd go to therapy. I'd get medicated, I'd finally get a pony and hire someone to take care of my pony. I'd ride my pony on the street so everyone can be jealous of my pony. I'd send 1,000 rainbow empanadas stuffed with nails to Mike Pence's house. I'd hire an unassuming, relatively attractive white man to follow me around, so every time you don't believe me, he can just repeat what I said, so then, like, you do believe me. I would replace my throat with one big lozenge, so it would never get tired of yelling. I'd make this scientifically possible. I would buy my mom something nice to wear. I'd buy my mom a house in a place that smells like oranges. I'd make sure my little sister finishes school. I'd never be hungry. I'd give my abuelita all of the calling cards in the world. If I had a nickel for every time I stayed up too late for someone who would never wake up for me, $1 for every minute I tried to make a sad man feel less sad, a penny for every time I had to bend and stretch to prove to someone that I am here, that I exist, my heart would rattle and shake with all of the coins spilling back into it. I would stop digging around in my pockets for pieces of myself covered in lint. I'd glue my soul's piggy bank back together. I'd give her a kiss. I'd put her back on the shelf. I'd only worry about saving myself. I'd never feel like any of this was my fault or like I owed you one again.
To my ex-best friend, it's almost been a year since we've talked, or should I say talked face to face, because I know as well as you do that you still talk behind my back. I still hear those whispers, except I accept them now. I no longer deny that they are coming out of your mouth. I shouldn't have expected better when I always knew you were more follower than a leader. I should have known when you suddenly had balls of steel to run your mouth on social media. We never matched, and that worked for a while, if you can consider what our friendship was a match. The only match our friendship was ignited a fire in me that almost destroyed the last bit of sanity I had left. You were like poison, but your label read quiet girl instead. You gave me no notice, it just happened. And suddenly, we are better friends with other people than we are with each other. I was the glue that was always trying to hold our friendship together. I was Albert Einstein's definition of insanity because I tried the same thing over and over and expected a different result. I'm proud to be able to say that if you tried to come back today, I would be strong enough to tell you to go away. When you see me in the hallways, do not look at me, do not act like you know me, do not whisper my name, do not even step foot in my direction because the animosity I had for you, I may have forgiven, but I've yet to forget. Just because you were able to delete 3 years of friendship doesn't mean normal people can, because normal people have these things called emotions. You probably still have no idea what those are, because emotions are controlled by oneself, but the only sliver emotions you have are someone else's. I hope that one day you finally find the confidence to discover your own voice. I hope that one day you finally understand that you don't need everyone's approval. I hope that one day you will realize that my outspokenness that embarrassed you was a weakness because it was foreign to you. I hope that one day you are making your children breakfast and see me on the TV and realize just like I had the power to make a difference, you could have too. If only you hadn't run away from it. I hope that one day you win the war that you are battling against yourself, and I hope that no one helps you. Because you've never learned anything from anyone trying to help you. Thank you for making me realize that even though I was your first run-in with friendship, you are a far cry from mine.
Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody.
That one's a lot. I wanted to throw it in there just to remind us all what middle school was like.
Just the angst, the pent up of like, no one understands me.
Yeah.
It's not a phase, Mom.
But also, that did make poems.
True.
Like, for all of, like, middle school is where I really started writing poems.
I started writing poems in 3rd grade, and a babysitter once discovered my secret journal filled with my poems to my crush, and he made fun of me, and I ran into my closet and sat there for a long time, where I still sit today.
Coming at you, remote location from her closet.
WTBU station, hello.
Sammy's been in that closet for 10 years.
Hello. Me.
You are listening to Speak for Yourself Radio on WTBU. The beat of Boston University. You could be listening to us at 89.3 FM, 640 AM, BU Cable Channel 6, online at wtbradio.org/listen, or on the BU Radio app.
That sounds good.
And you can call us. You can call me anytime.
Wink.
Or you could call us within the next 2 hours at 617-353-6400. I'm just going to be like low-key hitting on our entire
Everyone.
Listenership.
Hey.
Valentine's Day is coming up. It's time. It's time to turn it on.
Yeah, so time to ask us out over the phone now.
Hey, call in if you want to date me. Or if you have dating problems. My goal in life is to be Delilah.
Oh,
do you remember
Delilah?
Nope.
What's it like in New York City?
Nope. Delilah.
Which one?
She was a radio host, I believe, originally in the Philly area.
Oh.
And she would come on at like 10 o'clock at night and be like, all right, what is your problem? Talk to me. And then someone would call and be like, my boyfriend doesn't love me. And she'd be like, girl, it's gonna be okay.
I'd be like, oh, thank you. Everything is okay now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's all I need. All I need is Delilah to tell me things are okay.
Well, the thing is, you're not listening to Delilah right now. You know what you are listening to? I have a good hint for you.
In my head, poetry is a less quantifiable way of saving lives.
Read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion.
Yes, this week, Kaylin figures out how to play a header.
Snaps.
I was really just showing off there that I have the basic level of intelligence necessary to play a single audio file on my computer.
And guess what, guys? She passed.
Hey, I did it.
It might have taken at least 36 minutes and 31 seconds.
We don't need to talk about that. It's fine.
But it's here. It's here. It's staying. It's ready to go. She's here.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, we have a very special segment planned. Mm. So, here's the thing. Have you ever heard of a little app called Time Hop?
I do, and it brings me back to my camp days back when I was a solid 14 years old with a middle part and just a real no idea that farting in public was definitely frowned upon. So that's what Time Hop brings me.
Oh my god. Here's the thing. I've had social media since I was 11.
Oh.
My Time Hop is a trip.
I love it.
Bad. It's like me with pictures of myself at 11, which is already bad. and photoshopping in like a fake bright streak of blue
Oh my God.
into my hair.
I love it. So in case of all of you guys aren't knowing or are unaware, Time Hop is an app you can get that goes through all of your social media history since you've had social media and just pulls things out of 3-4 years ago on this exact day.
Yeah.
So, it really reminds me of days that I was I didn't really know much.
You could say it reminds you what it was like to be young.
Bum, 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 bum.
Being young.
But aren't we still young?
Yo, you would think so. I feel quite withered.
Technically, every moment awake is another moment young, or on the other
closer
side,
to death.
Right. So it's whichever, half full, half empty.
We all know what we think. You are a half full type of person. I am a half empty. It's why they gave us a radio show.
Because it wouldn't make sense just to have two people with half fulls or half empties. We'd just both be like, yeah, it makes sense.
It would be overwhelming. People like me would tune out if there were two half full people here because we'd be like, ugh. These happy girls again.
And then people like me would tune in and be like, wow, this is interesting. Let's keep listening.
Yeah. So actually, we could have another half empty person, really. Because half full people would be like, this has great potential.
Just keep trying.
It's a little depressing, but it doesn't get to me right now.
Woohoo!
No. So if I were to go on your time hop of poems.
Yes.
And all the way to the beginning.
Right.
What would I find?
Well, you would find, I used to write for the school newspaper in 3rd grade.
Oof.
So you would find my collection of poems in 3rd grade.
Poems
and I was a poet in 3rd grade. My first published poem was that of seasons. I wrote about seasons. Oh. I just love the seasons so much.
Me
Love
too.
Seasons.
Thank you, Matt.
What's changed? You're still
only the
so
seasons.
bubbly about the seasons. You're like, it's winter. What a beautiful day.
It is -20. Woohoo!
I sure do love fall almost as much as I love summer, spring, and winter.
You're not wrong. Still true. Still accurate. I'm living.
I love good journalism. And the fact that they let you write poems for a newspaper.
Astonishes me, bewilders me. Whenever I look back onto the poem I wrote, I am perplexed and confused.
I can't find mine that are that old. I wrote for a literary magazine when I was in 6th grade.
Ooh.
So 11-year-old angst.
Nice.
Peak.
Please.
Oh, but I reached out to my librarian from middle school last year. I was like, do you still have these magazines? And she's like, absolutely not. I'm pretty sure they burned them. Which was a good choice.
It's a good choice.
Long
Burn
story
it
short.
all. Goodbye.
But I was a musician in a past life.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone in this room is aware, other than Matt, who's seen my really bad videos of when I was a musician in a past life.
They aren't even bad, though.
They're so bad.
No, the thing about Kaylin is she has so much talent and she won't actually take it. I'm a half full person in case you couldn't tell. And that's how Kaylin and I always balance each other out. I'm a substitute Sammy. Sammy's way better than me. That's
oh
just
my gosh,
being real.
no, Matt, you are a beautiful individual.
Sounds fake. Thanks.
As you were saying.
Yes, but Kaylin is a wonderful individual, and nothing would top the fact that in 3rd grade I also was published like you, Sammy.
Yes.
And I wrote a haiku about fire.
Please. Oh my gosh.
I was so artsy.
Yes.
I wish I had it on me.
I really wish so too. I would have loved to hear it.
I'll come back on another day and then I'll have my haiku.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
goodness. Fair. I'm looking forward to it.
I started writing only last year. So I don't have much material from way back. I mean, everyone always joked way back, when you're in 3rd grade or something, you're like, oh, Cat in the Hat, 6-pack, all that funny stuff. But when I actually started writing, I wrote this thing called, Supreme Sucker. It's about the brand Supreme, and one of my friends, Andrew Lee, I think he might be listening today, and I wrote about him in a very positive fashion, and that's probably the most impactful thing to me, starting writing. Is you start young, and you keep going as you move forward, I guess.
Shout out to Andrew Lee for bringing us Jason as he is now.
Yeah, thank you. Another reminder, it's never too late to start writing.
So
you
true.
always have time to pick up a pencil. It literally can be right now. All you have to do is find a pencil or a pen.
And write about
anything.
What being young smells like.
Or that.
And call in.
Yes, because we have working phones this week. The telephone has not disappeared. Don't know why that happened last week, but
my dad listened to our show a day late, and I woke up to a text that it was 4 texts, and it said, "Oh my God, Sherlock phones," because of a bad pun I made last week.
Sherlock phones.
And I hate having to wake up to my own jokes. Like, it's real bad.
It's the best, just being like, oh, that was me.
He sent me a couple other ones, and
shout out to Kaylin's dad.
He's listening right now. He already sent me a prompt poem.
Oh, thank you, Kaylin's
so stay
dad.
tuned to hear my dad's Brian Tyndall. Stay tuned for Brian Tyndall's prompt poem.
Can't wait.
He's gonna text me and yell at me.
I wish my parents did something like that. Cough, cough. I'm talking to you, Dad and Mom, both listening right now.
Are they?
I don't know.
We should call them.
Hey, Mom, Dad, you guys listen to my radio show? Yes, I have friends. You wanna? I can prove it to you. I got real friends.
You know who can tell you about me when I was younger writing poetry? My dad. Let's call him. He would get so mad.
He'd be like, Kaylin, you were a great child.
My dad's pretty cool, but like, he's not here for that. I actually ran the idea by him when we first got this show. I was like, could I ever call you and let you improv a poem? And he was like, hey, I really support you. No. So
I'm afraid that if my dad was on this show, he would just make fart jokes, which
is like you being on this show.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, you know, so it's fine.
Okay, but poems.
Yes.
So you wrote. Did you bring us any old poems?
Yes.
Oh, I'm ready.
And this is pretty much, as you'll be able to tell, I was a Dr. Seuss fan.
Me? Who wasn't?
And so this is the best I could transcribe, so please bear with me. This poem is called Seasons by 3rd grade Samantha Imogene Altsnauer. That's me.
Imogene?
Yep.
Love it.
Yep, that's my middle
You
name.
should go by Imogene.
Just go by Imogene.
That's
my mom's name.
It fits you.
Thanks.
Oh, well. Apple really don't fall far.
They really don't.
Okay, Seasons.
So this is called Seasons.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Samantha with her poem, Seasons.
Oh, thank you. Seasons. Summer is really hot. I am sweaty and sticky and burnt. I like the beach, but I like it better when I am inside, not hurt. Fall is beautiful. The leaves turn yellow, orange, and red. I think about the trees sometimes and what it's like to be dead. Winter can be nice. Cold covers the land in snow. You can downhill ski all the time. It's the best, don't you know? Spring comes along slowly. Daffodils and tulips bloom. I love playing outside with friends, but I also love just being in my room. No matter the weather, what I came here to say is that all the seasons are special, each in their very own way.
I love it. It was so good.
So that's me.
Wait, but I like that a lot, though. That's, like, not bad.
Okay.
That's, like,
Thank
not
you.
bad.
Okay, yes.
I've heard worse from grown humans.
That's true. I've heard some pretty...
Jason specifically. Jason just looked at me like I was definitely calling him out when I definitely wasn't. So I did.
It's cool. I love seasons.
Thank
but
you.
You know what I love more than seasons?
What?
Seasoning.
Wow.
Need some
Obey?
good food.
Poet.
Dang. That's what you call a play on words.
Was that a segue to something, or were you just
Nah, I just like
talking
good
about
food.
Okay.
I respect that.
I can't be on air while Jason talks. Like, I just can't continue to take the show seriously. I'm just sitting here, like, crying. I just don't know how to carry on.
You just love his presence so much.
It's not an insult. It's a compliment.
It's
It kind of
the highest
everything I say
compliment.
kind of comes off as an insult.
But it's honestly, everything Kaylin says, like, at face value, you're like, oh my God. But then you're like, wow, thank you so much. That is the kindest thing.
Like,
Thank you.
honestly, if I bother to insult you, you should feel blessed.
To grace us with
Yeah.
your down talk, like,
Yep, I know your name. Congrats. I can't tongue pop.
Yep.
May
Matt.
I attempt?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds
thank-
good
that
on the
was
radio.
That was really good. Can we just, like, can we record that and get a soundboard of it? And just, like, play it back?
We need so many different sounds on a soundboard, is what we've decided.
Yeah.
So, when I first started writing poetry, right? As I was saying, I was a musician as a young lass. So, I wrote my first song when I was 7.
Wow.
It was bad. Like, it was inspired, just, like, to get a picture in your head of that song that Gabriella sings out a window at Troy on the ground in High School Musical 1.
Oh, my God.
That one that no one knows, even the people who love High School Musical, just don't know the song, because who cares?
Wait, are you talking about the one that began the movie?
Nope.
Then I have no idea.
I forget what it's called. I'll get back to you on that. It's the
I
one where
think
she,
it's
like,
based off High School
realizes
Musical.
he's... Like, plot point, spoilers. It's the one where she, like, realizes that, like, it's, like, the secret recording, and, like, realizes, like, he doesn't love me. Like, that was me at 7.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, angst that I don't have. I want it. So I wrote an angsty
I need to be
song when I
angry
was
about
7.
something. I just don't know what.
Yeah. I also performed a lyric poem in front of my 5th grade class with no music in the background. Just me singing. And there was a slideshow going in the back. And not, like, of pictures of, like, or a video or something interesting. It was, like, clip art.
Nice.
Just on a slideshow.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then
performance art is my favorite thing.
I was, like, looking through trying to find video of these, and neither of them exist on the internet anymore. Aw, boo, too bad.
No, actually, boo, too bad. I'm upset.
But those are things that I did in my life. I also am not prepared, but I did, when I was 18, I published a poetry book.
Oh.
Don't say that like it's impressive.
Oh,
it's
no, I'm saying it as if it's
bad.
impressive. A poetry book. Oh.
It's so
You want to know what I did when I was
bad.
18? I think I made cupcakes a few times, and I was, besides that, in bed sleeping. So, honestly, a poetry chapbook, whatever. Noise.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can still buy it on iBooks if you really want.
Oh my gosh.
But I feel like
Why don't
humble
you plug it?
suggestion.
Plug
Don't
it.
buy it.
Plug
Well,
it.
actually buy it. It still gives me money if you buy it, I think.
Plug it.
It costs too much. I don't know how much it is, but if it's a cent, it's too much. And it's called Shape. All lower caps with a period. Shape.
Oh.
By Kaylin Tyndall.
Oh.
I think it's like chapbook length, maybe. It's like 5, 6. So big old tip to all the poets out there who are young. Don't publish yet. Just don't do it. Like, college is going to be a good time. Actually, I probably shouldn't publish now either. Just don't publish ever.
Okay, and my tip to the world is continuously publish. Always publish. You have just so many books published, and by the end of your life, you'll have hundreds of books published, and that'll be really great. So that's my advice to the world. That's it. I think you should do it. Go for it.
I think Sammy's advice could lead to regrets like mine that I already have.
You know, that's what I thought I would say when I had a vlogging YouTube channel when I was in 7th grade. But looking back, no regrets. I honestly regret none of it, and I can't wait to embarrass my children one day.
I found one of Sammy's YouTube videos.
No, you didn't.
It was really good.
That was not real. You were...
It was real good.
Nope, that's not...
Anyway, I have not proofread any of these poems. I haven't read them in years, but this is the shortest one, so we're going to read that one.
Yes.
It's called Living. Nice broad topic to start off.
Me. Living.
I'm
living.
Okay. I'm sorry, can you hear me cringing before I even start? Living means endless uncertainty. Loving means never knowing why. Thinking means always needing answers you won't get however hard you try. I can't read that.
Please continue.
Who let me publish? Fate is a stunning young vixen. Take it in.
Continue, please.
She dances and leads you astray. But life means you dabble in disaster, and love means you always find a way.
Damn. Inspirational
let me
quotes.
write?
Inspirational quotes, Words to Live by Kaylin Tyndall.
This was one of my... I published like 8 poems, so this was one of my best of my lifetime.
Yeah.
What? Why? Okay.
No, it is...
I also want to shout out that this segment was my idea. Why'd I do this to myself?
You're ready to drag yourself. That's when you know you've advanced.
Constantly ready to drag myself.
I'm always ready to drag myself. That was beautiful. Thank you so
anyway,
much for sharing.
If you liked it, seek help and buy it on iBooks.
Oh, looks like we have a caller.
We're getting
our first caller.
Someone stall while I figure out how to answer a call.
Well, that'll be me. Hey, Jason, I have a question for you and C.
Yeah.
What does being young smell like in one word?
Bad.
Okay. C?
Pancakes.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. I would say it's probably both of those. Maybe pancakes, maybe bad. We are thinking about some words while Kaylin figures out how to get the phones onto the radio. Hey, Matt, if you could describe being young in approximately 2 words, both of which have to be nouns.
Video games.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Wait, caller, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh.
A little.
Oh, I heard something. Can they hear us? I don't have my headphones on.
Hey,
again.
hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm doing well. Yeah.
Thank you for calling. Who are you?
A student at BU.
Can we get a name, student?
Give us a fake one.
Yu-chan.
Yo, what up, Yu-chan? I know you. You in West.
He knows where you are, too.
He knows where you live.
Yeah, you better watch out.
Jason!
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Yu-chan. Did you answer the prompt? What does being young smell like?
Can you tell us your life story?
No.
Why not, please?
Hi, you called in. Now you have to improv a poem. Do you want our prompt or do you want a special prompt?
Oh, was this a... Okay.
No, you have to read a poem now.
Okay. Give us a prompt then.
What does being young smell like?
Smell like poo.
That's so fair.
Solid. Really solid. Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling in.
Okay.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
We love all of Jason's fans.
Solid. Thank you so much for calling in.
Guys, I love callers.
I love callers, especially your callers, Jason.
That was a terrible call, though.
No, it was a great call. What are you talking about?
Jason,
I'm
stop
so
being
happy.
mean to our listeners.
I'm so happy. People care, and people care enough to call in, which is saying something. It means we're popular.
Did any of our interns bring things to read? You didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
For the prompt?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I have
old stuff.
a poem from 3rd grade as well.
Yes.
I was 9.
Yes.
And we had a poetry unit, and this is what came out of it. It's called My Bike. My bike talked to me one day and said, "You're too big and heavy for a bike like me." I jumped off the seat, fell and scraped my knee. So I gave the bike to my sister, who just learned how to ride a 2-wheeler. I got a new bike, but it said the same thing. I got one more and told it, "Don't talk to me."
Oh, that was good.
I love it.
Love it. You tell that bike, don't talk to me. That's what living truly is. I love it.
Jason, friend?
I don't have any poems from way back.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
You have anything? Can you read us Supreme Succa?
I cannot. It's very explicit in nature, and the words cannot be said on the airway.
One day, Jason will write a clean poem for us.
One day.
One day. We have another caller. What we're going to do is we're going to go to a poem.
Yes.
And if that caller would like to call back, we would appreciate it.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just I don't know.
Just call in. Talk to us. We're cool. We don't bite.
Yeah.
Physically, we can't bite you because this is technically
Give
over
us
the
prompt
radio.
poems. Okay, we're going to play a poem now.
You have a caller.
I'm getting nervous about how to put calls on air and also whether or not I should be screening said calls.
Hello.
Caller.
Hello.
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 Hi, what's your name?
Ethan.
Hi, Ethan.
And this is Jason.
Hi, Jason.
We have another
Who's
Jason.
not me.
Too many Jasons.
Got an imposter.
Ethan, you can stay, but we already have a Jason.
Oh no, there's actually 2 people at this end.
Yeah, we don't need a Jason. We filled our quota.
Well, then I'll use a fake name.
Okay, that's fair.
Shakira is preferred.
All right, yes, I'll be Shakira then.
Awesome. What's your poem? Or why do you want to talk?
Well, I wanted to answer the question.
What does being young smell like?
Yes.
Please keep it safe
No,
for the
but
radio. I'm so nervous.
I would say regret.
True.
Being young smells like regret. Wise words.
What does regret smell like?
Regret
Sorrow.
smells wonderful.
Regret.
Helps you learn in life.
True.
I just genuinely want to know what regret smells like.
Vomit and alcohol.
That's fair.
I mean,
Caller, what do you think regret smells like?
Not being able to do things you want, I guess.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with friends more
Mhm.
when it's too late.
Yeah, that's hanging out with friends before it's too late. Before everyone goes their own way. That's what young smells like. Just innocence, no future plans, living in the moment.
True.
I feel like we were very different young people.
No, mine was riddled with anxiety, so I don't know.
No problem. I mean, that sounds like me.
So,
We have a question.
yeah.
What's your name?
Mine?
Yes.
Kaylin, why? Do you want to date?
Yeah, what's your number?
message us or like us on Facebook.
Yeah, you have to like us on Facebook to
like
get a
us.
date with me, strict rule.
Yeah, that's the first rule. So Speak for Yourself Radio on Facebook.
I prefer a personal number.
Aw, dang. We know those unfortunately can't be given off the radio, but they can be given.
Strict WTBU rule right there.
They can be given over Facebook chat. So hit us up.
Hey.
Really great. Thank you so much for calling in. It has been such a nice chat. We're really glad that you can contribute. Being young smells like regrets.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
I don't know what this show is becoming. We're going to play a poem.
This is a
that
dating show
feels
now.
like a poetry show again.
This is a dating show now, so anyone who wants to date me, you can call in.
Anything I do these days is kind of a dating show. It's kind of me going out on the street and being like, hello, welcome to Billy on the Street. Would you date this girl?
God, the word date just makes me sweaty.
Same, though. Okay, we'll talk later. We'll talk off air about dating.
Oh, God.
This is The Paradox by Sarah Kay.
When I'm inside writing, all I can think about is how I should be outside living. When I am outside living, all I can do is notice all there is to write about. When I read about love, I think, I should be out loving. When I love, I think, I need to read more. I am stumbling in pursuit of grace. I hunt patience with a vengeance. On the mornings when my brother's tired muscles held to the pillow, my father used to tell him, for every moment you aren't playing basketball, someone else is on the court practicing. I spend most of my time wondering if I should be somewhere else. So, I have learned to shape the words thank you with my first breath each morning, my last breath every night. When the last breath comes, at least I will know I was thankful for all the places I was so sure I was not supposed to be. All those places I made it to, all the loves I held, all the words I wrote. And even if it is just for one moment, I will be exactly where I am supposed to be.
When I say that we are all teen girls, what I mean is that when my grandmother called to ask why I didn't respond to her letter, all I heard was, "Why didn't you text me back? Why don't you love me?" And how can I talk about my grandmother without also mentioning that if everyone is a teen girl, then so are the birds, their soaring clicks, their squawking throats, and the sea, of course the sea, its moody push and pull, the way we drill into it, fill it with our trash, take and take and take from it, and still it holds us each time we call its name. What is more teen girl than not being loved, but wanting it so badly that you accept the smallest crumb and call yourself full? What is more teen girl than my father's favorite wrench, its eternal loyalty and willingness to loosen the most stubborn of bolts? What is more teen girl than my mother's chewed nail beds, than the whine of the floorboards in her house? What is more teen girl than my dog Jack, whose bark is shrill and unnecessary, who has never stopped a burglar or healed on command, but sometimes when I laugh, his tail wags so hard it thumps against the wall. Sometimes it sounds like a heartbeat. Sometimes I yell at him for talking too much, for his messy room. Sometimes I put him in pink striped polos and I think he feels pretty. I think he likes to feel pretty. I think Jack is a teen girl. And the mountains, oh, the mountains, what teen girls they are, those colossal show-offs, and the moon glittering and distant and dictating all of our emotions. My lover's tender but heavy breath while she sleeps is a teen girl. How it holds me and keeps me awake all at once. How sometimes I wish to silence it until she turns her body and the room goes quiet and suddenly I want it back. Imagine the teen girls gone from our world and how quickly we would beg for their return. How grateful would we be then for their loud enthusiasm and ability to make a crop top out of anything. Even the men who laugh their condescending laughs when a teen girl faints at the sight of her favorite pop star, even those men are teen girls, the way they want so badly to be big and important and worshipped by someone. Donald Trump, teen girl, and his tiny tweeting hands. Pluto, teen girl, and her rejection from the popular universe. And my father, a teen girl, who insists he doesn't believe in horoscopes but wants me to tell him the best traits of a Scorpio. I tell him we were all just teen girls, and my father, having raised me, recounts the time he found the box of love notes and condom wrappers I hid in my closet, all of the bloody sheets, the missing socks, the radio blaring over my pitchy sobs, the time I was certain I would die of heartbreak and in a moment was in love with a small new boy. And of course, there are the teen girls, the real teen girls, huddled on the subway after school, limbs draped over each other's shoulders, bones knocking an awkward wind chime, and all of the commuters who plug in their headphones to mute the giggle, silence the gaggle and squeak, not knowing where they learned to do this, to roll their eyes and turn up the music, not knowing where they learned this palpable rage, not knowing the teen girls who are our most distinguished professors, who teach us to bury the burst until we close our bedroom doors and then cry with blood in the neck, foot through the door, face in the pillow, the teen girls who teach us to scream.
I once wrote a love letter to an angel, scribbled down my feelings and emotions on an A4, about a page full. So when the postman asked for the address and told me they didn't deliver to heaven, it was painful. From that point on, at a young age, I realized reality would always stand in the way of a man attempting to fulfill his heart's desires, and that the postman was a wank, and that only a fool would believe in Santa. No white man would give you something without expecting something back in return. Would you listen to my story if I told you I was just another black youth from the urban part of North London known as Wood Green, but we're still hanging from the same tree, by the same rope? I was a fool to believe them when they said I shouldn't waste my vote. Last year was the first and last time you see me put an X next to a party's name, because they increased tuition fees, 4 kids died from stabbings last week, and apparently Obama just buried Osama. Like I said, only a fool would believe in Santa. I write poems while working in a stockroom at work. On a phone which is supposed to be in my locker, there's a possibility I could get fired before finishing this next line. I'm just like you, sitting behind the cashier wondering what all these years of education amounted to. I know a doctor that's a cleaner, a lawyer that stacks bottles, and an accountant that works in McDonald's. Didn't you strive for that degree? Wasn't that piece of paper with a number on it supposed to change your life? The irony of what I just said made me laugh twice. Because a clever man will tell you that money is the root of all evil. But a wise man will tell you that money was created by people. And my mum would say, money can't buy you happiness, but it can help. How would she react if she found I took my degree and ripped it up? All the great men are no longer here to sit with us, so I drop knowledge on these streets and hope the youths pick it up. I never smoke weed, so who am I to disagree? Spark one up and blaze away if that's what sets you free. Cause they'll tell you that it's kosher, then they attempt to dictate your life with a rota. I'm a product of a part-time shift in Sainsbury's, 20-hour shift in Marks & Spencer, full-time working on a construction site, only to get home and find out the council has still turned off your lights. F 'em. 12 years in the school system, 3 years in a higher learning institution, 2 exclusions, being young, black and sagging your jeans, forcing your lecturers to draw conclusions, American dreams, street illusions, uncles constantly asking you to send them money via Western Unions, law degree, turning 23 and finding out life ain't what you thought it would be, admitting this to yourself awkwardly, mental depression, government steering the economy straight into a recession. So now Lily can't get a job even though she paid attention in every flipping lesson. To be or not to be is an irrelevant question. I think, therefore I am. The world is my classroom and they want to put my people in detention. I feel like a Jew in Nazi Germany, under India, Amin in Uganda, locked in a room in a hotel in Rwanda. That's my mental state living in the slums of Great Britain. That's my mental state living in the slums of Great Britain. And it's just like, mama keeps questioning me. Like, son, when you get back to university? Mama said I did it and it weren't for me. But son, I see you struggling and it's hurting me. But mama, I see you struggling and it's hurting me. Mama keeps questioning me. Like, son, when you getting back to university? Mama said I did it and it weren't for me. But son, I see you struggling and it's hurting me. I once received a response for a letter I sent to an angel. She told me it'd fallen out of the bag of a very unpleasant postman and the wind had carried it onto her porch. She said its word had flattered her to tears. She said she'd read it every day for the past 6 years. I asked, 6 years? So why had it taken her so long to show up? She said she'd been shy. And that as every day went by, she watched me grow more into a man who even she was not sure she was good enough for. She told me that she loved my every poem and watched every time I stepped on stage. She said she hated watching me slave away for that minimum wage. But have faith in the Lord, she said as she winked, 'cause you'll all be worth it one day. She said she would continue to read my letter daily and that she was my biggest fan. But the only problem was my age. She didn't date younger men. After all, she was like 2 millennium older than me. But she still thought I was cute. And stopped to say one more thing before she flew away. But I already knew what she had to say. She pointed at my letter and said, "If a man truly wishes to fulfill his dreams, reality can never get in the way. If a man truly wishes to fulfill his dreams, reality can never get in the way."
Where you are born will never change, in name, nor place, nor creed. Old words decay, and footprints fade, but it's still home indeed. Someday you'll make a grand return to see with outlook new all that has gone, where the time went, if they've forgotten you. The smells are unfamiliar in the boxed-up clothes you wore. Even mirrors don't reflect the way you thought they did before. You'll find the buildings taller, that the halls are full of ghosts, but everything still here is what you remember most. Firsts and lasts and birthdays. July would warm them all. Frigid days spent breathing in the apple-colored fall. We slept until the winter, when the world was painted gray, draped ourselves in scarlet, and it all melted away. Braving rain, we'd paddle to the river Styx at dusk, where the world did not stretch further than the thickets in the rust. Here I play the role of past girl, jumping back onto the scene. I fit the part so nicely that you'd think the girl was me. Though I may roam to different sites, out of small shoes I'll grow. There will always be a part of me that's filled with Ohio.
Harry's staring at his chicken. He's trying hard to listen without hating, but everything David says seems to make him like him less. His little brother Pete is waiting for the appropriate place to say, "All right, yeah," and make an interested face. Miriam feels distant. She knows her sons are trying hard, but trying hard just increases the friction. It's never been tense like this. Harry looks around at his mother's new kitchen and can't help but think of his dad. Alone in that house where they all used to live, putting his half pint of semi-skimmed back into the fridge. Dad, with his silent ways and his smiling face, no romance, just basic, straightforwards, no frills, no fuss. But at least he was a man you could trust. Not like this guy, this David, faced like a pillar at the end of a rave, staring at my mum like he wants to be saved. Harry feels weak today, he can't take it, and he doesn't know it, but he's glaring, thinking of Becky and why he insisted on sharing so much with a stranger. He feels a faint sense of danger, ashamed that it made her. Fool of himself is an idiot, sees it in his mind's eye, insidious. Him spilling out his guts like a suicidal shogun, looking for deliverance, dithering full, feeling silly and hopelessly broken, blithering on while she was smoking. What was he thinking? Heart opening up like it was blinking. Becky, he feels her name, it's heavy, don't forget me. Snap back to the room, he flinches at the image. Miriam is finishing her wine and Pete is asking for the spinach. How's work, Harry? David's features are tipped towards him. Fine, thanks. Harry looks up. Exhausting. Yes, David smiles, but hard work is always rewarding. Even David's enthusiasm is boring. How long have you worked there? He asks, and Harry thinks of all them years he's spent scheming and shotting. Little while now, to be honest, I've forgotten. Oh yes, well time does fly in the workplace. David smiles, nodding. All he ever wanted to be was good enough. All he ever wanted to say was the right thing. But as long as you live for the way you're perceived, you will never create only right things. All he ever wanted to do was the dumb thing. All he ever wanted to make was the grade. But as long as you live for other people's opinions, you'd never be more than afraid. All he ever wanted to be was good enough. All he ever wanted to say was the right thing. But as long as you live for the way you're perceived, you will never create only right things. All he ever wanted to do was the dumb thing. All he ever wanted to make was the grade. But as long as you live for other people's opinions, you'll never be more than afraid.
Scribbled down my feelings and emotions on an A4, about a page full. So when the postman asked for the address and told me they didn't deliver to heaven,
strings off my mustache 2 days after the election in a fancy bakery bathroom in Harvard Square. There isn't a lot of light in here, but we're used to this. We worry about taking too long. We worry about someone knocking on the door, someone making us leave. Before this, Yosra joked about lining her hijab with safety pins while we waited for a white family to clean up their table. The white father stared at Yosra for too long and said, "I'm so sorry." He was talking about the mess he and his family had made, like they had made this mess, not thinking that we would have to sit in it. Still, at the same time, both of us say, don't even worry about it, because we have done all of the worrying for them our entire lives. Because our mothers have taught us to bring cleaning supplies, because we have learned to forgive every space we enter, because Yosra keeps a roll of string in her purse with her at all times for emergencies. And the emergency this time is I'm about to see a white boy. The emergency is I want him to like me, and my mustache looks like the subtitles for a foreign movie starring an actress that I'll never look like, or a stock ticker for money I'll never have. Maybe one day I can be chill, like the white girls, the ones who don't shave for political reasons, the ones who took an entire election cycle to grow out a tuft of armpit hair, the ones who say, I don't see what you're talking about, Melissa. You must be crazy. It's all in your head. Why don't you just try to love yourself more? They say this about my body hair and not my fear of the world. I think the tragedy was that they were all trying to be nice while the emergency bloomed around us. Yosra doesn't need to be nice to me. Yosra can see it because Yosra knows where to look. Yosra puts the string in between her teeth and says, okay, I think this is the most Middle Eastern thing I've ever done. And I think about what the most Guatemalan Colombian thing I've ever done is. And maybe it's grow. I think about what the most American thing we've ever done is, and it's hide in this bathroom. I think about what the most womanly thing we've ever done is, and it's live anyway. This isn't oppression. This is, I got you. I believe you. I always have. Yosra tells me she's leaving, going back to Iran. Why stay here, she says. Why struggle for a country that doesn't even want me? And I think of the Spanish word ojalá, derived from Arabic, meaning God willing. If God wills it, if God wants it, if I even believe in a God anymore, if Yosra mercilessly, lovingly pulling out the hairs from my face is a kind of prayer, then God will it. Then God damn it, we will live in this low light. I tell Yosra, okay, all right, I think I'm ready, let's go. But she says, no, hold still. We are not done yet.
Hey, Black Child by County Color. Hey, Black Child, do you know who you are? Who you really are? Do you know you can be what you want to be if you try to be what you can be? Hey, Black Child, do you know where you're going? Where you're really going? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey, Black Child, do you know you are strong? I mean really strong? Do you know you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do? Hey, Black Child, be what you can be, learn what you must learn, do what you can do, and tomorrow your nation will be what you want it to be.
I wanted to leave you guys with something really cute
That
before
was
we
so
came back in and you had to
cute.
hear us.
That little girl warms my heart.
So that was a 3-year-old girl, and she didn't write that poem, but she did
performed
memorize
it like she did. Oh.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this video, I feel like you should.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
so good.
please. I need like a wholesome content playlist.
I could
and
find it for
she
you.
needs to be on it right now.
Yeah, it's just her on
What's
a
her
loop.
what's her name?
Her name is Peyton.
Well, Peyton, if you're listening out there, which I'm sure it's past your bedtime, you
Go to sleep.
Did a great job, sweetie. You did a great job.
She so did though. I'm really proud of her. Like weirdly disconnected proud.
Yeah, like I don't even like know who she is, but somehow like I have like this kind of motherly child weird connection, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. I want to see you do well in life. I want to be a part of that, but also that would be weird.
No. That's fine. So we sent a prompt out into the universe not too long ago.
With our thoughts.
About an hour ago.
And our words.
Yeah. We sent good vibes.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, hey, write good words.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some.
Mm-hmm.
Where should we even begin?
That's great.
So my
question.
dad, our prompt was, what does being young smell like? And my dad texted me almost immediately. This text is from 10:12, so it must have been right after we said it. He said, quote, being young smells like burnt flesh and mashed potatoes.
Wow.
It's because I just got the joke, like right now on air. It's because when I was 4 years old, we had a Christmas dinner, and my aunt made this mashed potato casserole. If you're a white person and you're that familiar with casseroles that, like, mashed potatoes became a casserole for you, you might understand that mashed potato casserole has to be cooked, like, 3 times. Like, I don't know how to make it, but it's, like, a process. So we were on a deadline, and, you know, dinner was starting.
Yeah.
Hey, dinner starts promptly in the Pennsylvania Dutch household, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Our casseroles are on the table at 6 o'clock. Anyway, so my aunt brings it over to the table. It had just come out of the oven, and she's like, okay, it's really hot. She scoops it on my plate. She's like, it's hot, so don't stick your finger in it, like, funny. And so, of course, I stuck my finger directly in it and got 3rd-degree burns.
Oh, no.
So, and I just read that live on air because I didn't understand the joke about myself until right now.
Hey, the world's full of surprises.
It's like that sometimes. We do have another listener poem. It's a bit of a long one, but probably worth it. I haven't proofread it, so sounds like a good game plan to me.
Yeah.
This is from our good friend Chad from the Speak For Yourself Poets group.
Can't wait.
I'm hoping I won't have to censor it, and he understands that I'm live on radio. We'll see. When you're in kindergarten, being young smells like cherry Tylenol. It's a bitter reminder that you're sick. You can't do what everyone else does. A few years later, youth smells like your friends are over after school. A room full of kids playing video games sprawled on the floor and the couch, and youth starts to become sweeter. Your room was once cleaned and sanitized to keep the youth smell from seeping in. Youth caramelizes and sweetens its scent. You're older, and youth tastes of candy canes that hang off your Christmas tree. You put them there. The peppermint takes you home to Christmas with your mom, where you've just baked chocolate chip cookies and sit down to watch Rudolph. Evergreen envelops you. And you're still older, and youth comes back. When you open a door too fast and think you've smelled this before, but it's gone too quick to identify, and the flowers outside your house, youth one day will smell like memories.
Oh.
It's so cute.
I love that. Snaps.
I didn't have to censor anything. I'm proud of you, Chad.
That was great, Chad.
Chad's probably already asleep.
Okay, well.
Chad sent this an hour ago. He's gone.
Hour ago,
Down for the
Chad.
count.
Matt shakes his head.
I know he's not asleep. There's no way he's asleep right now.
He could be. I don't know. Okay.
Rolls eyes.
Matthew, quick to speak up. Do you maybe have a poem?
I mean, I guess I do. You know.
Let's stall while he finds it. I think that being
Found it.
young smells like fresh cut grass.
Oh, you know, I used to be very allergic of that smell.
Well,
it made my
different
lungs
youth
hurt.
experiences.
It made my lungs hurt a lot.
Well, Matthew, welcome to the stage, Matt Gorab.
Banana Laffy Taffy. Artificial saccharine sweetness. A sticky, sinful taste. Dad took my dollies, and this is haste. Candy is coping, because, I mean, they're both plastic. It's a sweet sunny day, and the sun beams on my skin, the ease of the breeze, enjoying the entropy in my jaw, popping my gum. The sweetest part of being a kid was the artificial sweetness and joy. The sugar rush was so pure. I didn't care about my 3 cavities. This is the sweetest part of my day.
I love it.
All 3 were worth it.
I
we
love
love
it.
prompt
All
poems
3.
here.
You know, I once had 6 cavities all at once.
Kudos to you.
You know, I haven't been to the dentist in 4 years.
Kudos to you.
Who knows how many cavities I have?
Hey, you know what? Maybe one more than mine, maybe none.
You know what I say? Cavities just make a smile more unique.
Welcome to the stage, Anita Dentist.
Wow, that was so good, Matt.
Matt's just making drag queen jokes. In case you guys couldn't tell, the tongue pop, it's a drag queen joke. They're all drag queen jokes. That's all we have here.
If you don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I don't know who you are.
If you don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I don't know why you thought you should tune into a poetry show.
Because we all like poetry and drag.
CoverGirl is a poem. RuPaul is a poet. That's all. I rest my case.
That was a great claim. Great statement of fact. Great conclusion.
Does anyone else maybe have a prompt poem? Jason?
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 Okay, I'll read. What does being young smell like? Reminiscing a distant scent I've been forgotten, don't know if I'm missing it. If I told you right now, I'd say it smells pretty bad. Like school lunch and we still ate it when we had dirt on our hands. And in the schoolyard, you catch us throwing hands during recess, eating our Reese's peanut butter cups. Not puffs, no biggie that kids right now getting cuffed real young. Not just police brutality, but also fake real love. So fake is imaginary. Stuck in a fantasy pretending to be pirates. Come out one piece smelling like seamen. And I'm like, you're young, it's okay to pretend. You're young, it's okay to dream. It's okay to smell. You're young, blink an eye, and it's all over. And by the time, you'd already need some deodorant. I need a sponsorship too. I love Dove. Dove deodorant.
I thought that was part of the poem.
That was great.
Nah, I
Well,
love Dove.
it should be.
It's titled Dove for Men.
I would humbly suggest that you add it.
How many sponsorships have you gotten thus far?
Not one from Diet Coke. Diet Coke.
Rolex. Come on.
Okay, that's a bit ambitious.
Okay, SpaghettiOs. I know I'm a low baller here, but I'm really shooting very low. Please, SpaghettiOs, sponsor me.
Being young, for me, kind of smells like SpaghettiOs. In that, they were the most
Beefaroni?
exciting thing when I was young because I wasn't allowed to have them.
Yeah.
Because I'm Italian. So my mom was like, how dare you? I'll make you real ravioli. And I was like,
I'd rather have
Elaine,
the fake
I
stuff.
don't think you understand.
I need the stuff that isn't homemade and filled with love and care and affection. I need the fake stuff from the
Yeah.
can. Mom, you don't understand me.
Oh, me?
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I was trying to silently ask you if you were ready
Sorry,
so that the
I
radio
was.
audience didn't have to hear, but
Yeah.
C, are you ready?
I am ready now.
Hey.
Cool.
Welcome to the stage. See.
I just
Welcome to
finished
the
this
stage.
poem 10 seconds ago.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
We couldn't tell by me asking you
Nope,
about
not
it.
at all. I don't remember what my limbs felt like when they could move without creaking. I do remember the smell of asphalt and skinned knees, the scent of mountain scenery driving along Interstate 70, drawing circles in the maps of my hometown, wondering when straight lines would stop dividing my palms caked with dirt from the playground. Childhood smells like wet wood chips on sun-baked concrete, like soft droplets left over from the morning rain on the swing set. I don't remember the feel of brick school buildings or garden fences, but I remember that smell.
I love it.
Snap, 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 snap. I love it. That was beautiful, C.
I love prompt poems.
I do too.
I didn't run this by anyone because I didn't run it by myself until right now. But I have a poem about being young that I wrote a long time ago.
Yes.
If no one minds.
I mind absolutely 0%. If you don't share it, I will be sad.
Oh, do you want one with sense in it? I have another one with sense.
Like CENTS?
Yeah.
50 Cent?
SCE. No.
SCENSC?
NFC? What?
Anyways.
NFC East champion, the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yep, that's it.
Is that the right division? I honestly don't even know.
Go sports.
Okay. So this has some sense in it. I grew up in Tennessee, so all my scents are Tennessee scents more than young scents, but they're kind of interchangeable for me. So, also this is not a prompt poem, and I feel like that's really important to say. Like, this is a couple editing trips in, but we never read our prompt poems, and I feel like some of our listeners are over there like, hey, do these guys even know how to write? Who let them do this?
Good question.
That's so fair.
Honestly,
Call in and let me know if I know how to write. The answer can be no. The answer is probably no.
The answer is always, you're not there yet, but you will be.
So this is called Cicadas. That night, we tried to watch the stars on a checkered blanket next to the fire pit, but there was a thick cloud of gnats between us and the sky. Chiggers attacked our ankles, and it felt nothing like how it looked on Dawson's Creek. So we wandered into the empty lot next door to see what daffodils look like in the moonlight, if the cicadas would sing for us, and if honeysuckles taste different in the dark. You taught me how to hop a fence, and I taught you every path through those woods until we reached the center, where it was so dark I could barely see your eyes, but I swore I wasn't scared. You said we should head back anyway, to the swing set next to the garden that is safe when the hornet's nest is asleep, and you told me how much you wanted to go anywhere but there. I thought about what a shame it'd be to have to waste my summer nights with anyone but you. Still, I helped you plan your escape. That's the end.
I love it.
I just forgot that I liked that poem and I should have read it, so I read it.
When did you write that?
Last year.
It sounded like something that you would write like fairly recently, because I was like, that sounds like a now Kaylin poem.
Last year, I feel like, I don't know if anyone else goes through this with writing, but like each semester for me is a different weird, like I grab onto something. So last semester, like spring semester of last year, freshman year, was very like, I couldn't write anything but Tennessee. It was all like cicadas, honeysuckles, daffodils, like all of it, all the time.
Nice.
Boys, but
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Now I'm just not writing.
Now I've entered a writing block that I've been in for the past 3 years.
This spring semester I read about blank pages. Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift. Yeah. No, I've been trying to write every day.
Yeah.
Most of my words, I title it Word Vomit because that's how it comes out most of the time, but some of it's cohesive.
Yeah.
You just throw, as they say, you throw stuff to a wall and see if it sticks.
Last semester I wrote all about boys. And then this semester I decided men don't deserve me. So then I just stopped writing about them, and now there's nothing else to write about.
There's nothing else. There are so many things better to write about than boys. There's like...
I know that that's true, but like nothing's coming out.
Let's see. The soup of the day was clam chowder at Warren, and that's definitely better than all the boys in the world.
It sounds like food poisoning.
Well, it gave me at least mild sweats, which isn't bad to how soup typically treats me. So I'd say all in all, pretty good.
Fair.
Yep.
Super
pretty good.
fair.
Pretty good. So, thank you for sharing.
My struggles right now are like veganism and not shaving, and those all feel like things that like people write about, and I hate.
People shave?
Who? Show me them.
Show me those
suckers.
Yeah, seriously, don't get caught up into buying a razor. That stuff is too expensive.
It's expensive.
And
it's a scam. It's a social construct. Welcome to Feminist Hour. Don't shave your pits.
Or your legs, ever. Let's all just live the rest of our lives, just hairy as heck.
Why not? Like, I'm sorry. I know there's, like, some history of, like, how that started, but, like, I don't get it. Like...
Why we started shaving?
Yeah. When did that become a thing?
Yeah, whose bright idea was like, let's put a sharp razor to our skin and see what kind of natural growth we can tear off of our own bodies.
Male swimmers.
Thank you.
Hey, we started it. They stole our look.
They're coming for my brand.
Honestly, who isn't coming for my brand?
That's true.
Do you think maybe we should play a poem?
Ooh.
Do you think that's why people tune in?
I think so, more so than listening to us ramble.
I like to think that everyone shows up to anything just to hear me talk.
Yeah.
Like, not specifically this, just like if I happen to be at the GSU at the same time as you, I think you showed up to hear me.
You know what? That's okay. Just keep thinking that, and I'll just be like, yep, that's why I'm here.
But really what's up is that I have to sneeze, so we have to go off air.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can keep it in for a very long time. Your nostrils are flaring.
Really?
Your nostrils You just looked at me and just like flared.
Because I have to sneeze.
Okay, well then let's play a poem so you can sneeze in peace off air.
Okay. We'll be back after my sneeze.
These last few days have been beautifully uneventful. My GPA is rising steadily. No one's nappy-headed son tries to play me, and the freshman 15 is coming in nicely. These peculiar good days have allowed me to believe that God has placed a shroud of protection over my tired body because I have taken the maximum amount of L's in 2016. In these torturous 12 months, I've been placed in a mediocre purgatory. Not 1 ounce of mercy has been wasted upon me. If 2016 was a shoe, it'd be Crocs. It is getting matched with your ex on Tinder. 2016 is a forgotten password or a username. I have been meek-milled into a millennia and ethered into an eternity. 2016 has choked everything I've ever loved with its bare hands. And maybe if I had learned to love myself, it would have went down a little easier this year. Is nothing short of an unnatural disaster. When the college you've been pining for 4 years wraps its rejection in pristine white paper, you wish the edges were just a bit sharper. When you find that the lips that have indented I love you against your forehead for the past 3 years were also being indented against another's, you wish his final goodbye was fatal. The only upside to this beastly, this bleakness, this blackness, is that I can only go up from here. I have been dwelling in darkness, but maybe that's what I needed to see the stars. Maybe my head was in the clouds for so long, I needed the rain to clear out my expectations. Maybe the skyline was smog all along, and he hadn't loved me in a while, and I was never NYU material. And some people just weren't meant to fly, but if all I have are these 2 weary legs and these ever-reaching hands and this ever-pining heart, then maybe I can summon the strength from standing atop the soil. And though the world is a mess, though the election ballot was a menu serving my least favorite foods, I simply couldn't stomach a woman who claimed hot sauce in her bag and the man who wore it as concealer. Though we have lost some of the greatest this year, Prince, Bowie, Rickman, Harambe, at least I have found a way to fill the bullet wound from the Cincinnati Zoo in my chest. Memes, the JPEG salvations. And since laughter is the best medicine, I know a cure is just one Arthur fist away. I know that 2017 will be a little kinder, that all that has been lost will be returned, and I will be open to any form, that the sour of the 16th year will be squeezed into sweetness. Rock bottom has never felt so good.
Hello, everyone. This next one does have a content warning for abuse, and there's also some reference to death. So if that is a troubling subject, please take care of yourself. You can tune back in about 3 minutes when it's over.
My father was a monster of a man. Self-proclaimed king, built his throne on his children's sorrows. And there were many. It seems like we were always crying back then, always wishing that our father had left us like all our friends' fathers did, then maybe we wouldn't have all these scars, all these whelps and bruises. My father was a big, flared nostrils kind of man. Taught me everything I know, from how to ride a bike to how to keep myself warm with my own anger. He taught us anger and let us figure out love on our own. Kept us locked up like China dolls. The sun burned our eyes when we finally broke free. Seeds planted in darkness never grow quite right, and I'm a wilted flower. With social anxiety and notebooks filled with conversations I've never had, I blame my dad. Grandma told us to pray for him. Asked God to look on his heart and change him. By the time I was 5, I stopped believing people could change. By 10, I stopped believing in God altogether. My father beat the poet out of me. I built my entire story around hating him. After the first stroke, when my monster of a man lay weak and docile on a hospital bed, tears streaming down his face, in 18 years I'd never seen him cry before. And I couldn't feel bad for him. He was the causer of tears. After the second stroke, I stood at the door with my arms crossed, sterile whiteness threatening to choke me. He hobbled around the house scattered-brained, calling his daughters by his sisters' names, the hand he used to hit us with gone numb. His last words to me were, "Jasmine, you know I'm proud of you, right?" I didn't. And by then, we'd grown too far apart for me to care about his opinion. I felt nothing at his pride. My father died. Who told you you could leave me? I still had things to write about. There was the part where I proved you wrong, where I finally cussed you out and didn't let you see your grandkids. You weren't supposed to go yet. Who am I supposed to be without my enemy? You always wanted to talk. Now say something. Teach me how to mourn you through all this anger. You've been gone for months, but I've been festering in this for years. Stop looking at me with your eyes glazed over. Mouth sewn shut from the inside. Arms across your chest, protecting me from your heart.
Wary student. 1. Imagine that you are trying to balance on the surface of an expanding balloon. List all the different ways in which this resembles reality. 2. Thousands of subatomic particles stream through you night and day. Does this account for those peculiar flashes of light you sometimes see? 3. You are trapped in a lift which is plummeting to the ground. Describe what you feel. 4. You are in a spaceship travelling towards a black hole. As you pass the event horizon and become cut off from the rest of the universe, what do you observe? 5. What happens if you stop believing in gravity? Will you slide off the earth? 6. What happens if you stop believing?
Second childhood. Some return, having lost every memory in between, to the only place they feel at home. Others, like survivors of a war, are compelled to relive its traumas. Even those who bolt the door return involuntarily in sleep. I dreamed of my ashes swilling with plankton in the ocean's currents, washed up on a beach where a child in a sunsuit sits like a faithful guard dog beside her grandmother, who's dozing in a deck chair wearing a black straw hat. The child I was, aged 8, with 2 plaits and a pale pinched face, digging her toes into grains of sand.
Good evening. As you probably expect, we're going to begin tonight with...
Have you ever gotten your heart broken? What I meant to say is, have you ever watched the neighborhood you grew up in crumble into a construction site and transform into a state university? Or hear the jackhammers eating away at the project placeholders for your fancy new condos? If there's one thing I know about heartbreak, is that you do not see it coming. It places a detonator in the basement of your home when you were eating dinner with your family. Not sure who decided to blow my house out from under me, who I should be addressing my concerns to. The realtors, the town councils, or the schools consuming my city whole, but I would like to ask them if they considered the exit wounds when they were tearing up the floorboards. While I watch a group of college kids walk into their cozy dorms, I'm worried where my head will be resting 12 hours from now. I've started to call the closest hotel home and the local cafe's couch the best bed I've slept on in weeks. And I wonder if I should address those same concerns to myself, like I should have seen it coming when they were canvassing the neighborhood. Disguised as a real estate agent, they said they were going to clean up this housing unit, said they were going to do the city a favor while displacing families within the same breath. It's been months since evils marched into my home, took my block hostage, and painted a ransom note that none of us could afford. When gentrification hands you an eviction notice, it looks more like an autopsy than anything else. It's like watching your casket be built from the same wood they ran a bulldozer through in the first place. Gentrification is, in fact, a death sentence that will rip the soul out of your community, replace it with a latte, a tourist attraction, and the barista will still have the audacity to tell you to have a nice day. And they never tell you how gentrification and homelessness go hand in hand, so you're left with nothing. And every time you enter the state's housing facility, the shelter, the CTI, or the DTA office, you realize that this room is full of people like you, that this revolution doesn't have room for people like you, wasn't meant for people like you, people like us. The revolution only recognizes white, only deep-pocketed, only dollar-sign pupils. And you'll start to ask yourself, how many nights do I have to live without before they realize that pavement is not easy to tuck yourself into at night? It's only a matter of time before the street corners you call home are posted for rent up on Craigslist. And after they cleaned out the problem, I mean, this community, they will tell you how safe it is and advertise why you should move here. But the only reason crime rates are down is they do not consider the destruction of culture and home as a crime. What you aren't seeing is that gentrification starts to sound a little bit like Christopher Columbus. Feels like colonization in my own country. Looks like renovations that did more than just fix up homes, instead emptied them out, lost the families, lost the landmarks, lost what makes this place worth visiting anyway. Seems like history is just repeating itself, only in modernized fashion. It was not a crime in 1492, and I guess some things just stay the same. After all,
And in my head, poetry is a less quantifiable way of saving lives.
Read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
That last poem I was really excited to play. That is a local young poet.
Wow.
Sent to us by Mass Leap, which is a group that deals with local young poets in Massachusetts, from the Louder Than a Bomb competition in 2017.
Cool.
Which is also a really cool competition with a bunch of young poets. We've also played from a couple other youth competitions, like Brave New Voices, which is a really cool national organization that does a lot of youth poets. And we've taken some of our stuff from Button Poetry, which features some of our more like our age of youth, like the 20s, late teens. So just a shout out to the organizations that have brought you this program tonight.
Yeah.
That's my housekeeping. Get that out of the way. Let's be crazy gals. Like usual.
That's us, crazy gals.
I mean, we had a good episode.
That
I
was
feel
really
like we
good.
reined it in a little bit this time.
Not as many technical difficulties. We definitely had a really good time. I thoroughly enjoyed all these poems once again.
I liked our time hop poems.
I like them a lot too.
I
I
like
think
to
that there's a lot of really good submissions, and I love the callers that called in. So thank you guys for contributing yourselves.
Yeah. One last prompt poem, coming from our Speak E-board, from our president of Speak for Yourself Poets. The prompt again was, "What does being young smell like?" They responded, "Teen spirit." That's the end of the poem. But I think it's one of the best ones all night.
I agree. I think being young does smell like teen spirit, which is, could be a lot of things, to be honest.
Could be a song. Really.
Oh, someone's calling in. Last caller of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Before we sign off,
Hopefully it's a prompt this time.
Now that I actually figured out how to put you on air. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Are you there? Ah, so close.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
I have hello?
Hey.
What's your
I have
name?
a poem for the Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
So I got a poem for you guys.
Oh,
okay,
great.
Is it radio safe?
Yeah.
Sick.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
All right. When I was young, I'm still young. I am free. I am Tyler Lee. Youth is like a Hakeem in the post, a dream. Oh, back to the smells, what I smell like now. Krispy Kreme. I hate and I love lies. Being young, it always ends up smelling like goodbye.
I love it.
That's it.
Ooh.
Thank
No,
you.
That's pretty
Thank
good.
you so much,
so
Tyler.
good.
Thank you so
It's
much.
an actual poem this time.
Oh my gosh, love it. We
you
love
so much.
not actual poet callers too, but like we like real poems too.
That was great. Thank you
We
so
like
much
everyone.
for calling in.
Thank you, Tyler.
Oh, this is my favorite radio.
Tyler. Shucks.
Oh man.
You're our
Keep on
favorite caller.
listening.
Yeah, you're our favorite
Yeah.
caller.
Hey, I feel like we shouldn't rank our listeners.
Hey, you know what? That's okay.
That's
we can
problematic.
start doing it now, and that way everyone will start a little bit of competition. And
Ooh, we could rank them on our Facebook page. Speak for Yourself Poet. Speak for Yourself Radio on Facebook and at SFY Radio on Twitter.
Great.
Right, Tyler?
Yeah,
Tyler follows all our social media, I'm sure.
of course.
Since we're his
Of course.
favorite radio show.
Thanks, Tyler.
All right, no problem.
Have a great
Thank
Friday
you so
night.
much. Call back some other
too.
week.
Bye.
Wasn't
Great.
he just a doll?
Thank you so much, Tyler.
Tyler's setting a good example. Next week, everyone should call in.
Every person
Just every person who
in the
listens.
world.
All 5 of you.
All 5 of
Including you,
listening.
Dad.
You know I'm talking to you, Dad.
Brian, call. Okay, I think it's time to give them a rest. They don't want to hear us anymore.
Yeah, it's that sad moment of the night, and we have to, unfortunately, log off.
Any last words?
Yes, follow me on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/JasonZ. That's JASONSZE.
I love it.
Jason!
This is now Jason's show, everyone. This is no longer Speak for Yourself. This is called The Jason Show. That's it.
I have no feedback to give to anything that Jason says. It's just me going, Jason! That's it. Matt stuck with us for a whole 2-hour show as our guest appearance, said a couple words, a whole poem, anything to leave us with, bud.
Sweet dreams. Enjoy your weekend. Drink water.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And see, any
Beautiful.
last words of advice?
Good night, write good words, and farewell.
Oh, great.
Beautiful.
Great.
Thank you.
I would like to wish you all a healthy week. I would like to wish myself a healthy week because I've been sick.
Mm-hmm. I wish everyone to also have a healthy week and not get a lung infection like me. What?
Yeah. But
But
if you are sick and stuck in your house, you should tune back in
in a week
to WTBU, the beat of Boston University, at 89.3 FM, 640 AM, BU Cable Channel 6, WTBUradio.org/listen, or the WTBU Radio app. And you should call whoever is on air at that time at 617-353-6400. Have you seen that skit on SNL that they do?
When they both try to talk at the same time and one person's trying to
They're
talk.
like pretending to sing a song, and it's Fred Armisen and Kristen Wiig, and
Yes.
I'm Kristen Wiig and you're Fred Armisen.
Yes.
Okay. We'll do that next week.
Yeah.
Let us know on our Facebook page, Speak for Yourself Radio on Facebook, or our Twitter at SFY Radio if you want to see that next week. Okay. That's enough stuff.
How do I do the last, like, there you go. A mouth, was it a tongue pop?
A tongue pop.
Thank you, Matt.
I can't tongue pop. I'm not even going to try. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this week. I'm Kaylin.
I'm Sammy.
And
I'm Matt.
I'm C.
I'm Jason. Follow me on SoundCloud.
Jason!
And we are Speak for Yourself Radio.
It was great talking to all of you. Next week it's going to be just me and Sammy. The rest of them are gone. Just Jason and Matt.
Well, we hope you all have a nice Friday. Now, Saturday night. Morning.
Just have a good all the days.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye, everybody.